In the case of Solutions Not Sides, you have an organization which is able to depict itself as somehow um, a kind of neutral organization which is pushing the idea that if people get together, sit down and talk, then you solve this issue of settler colonialism in Palestine, that ultimately um, Zionism is not something that should be looked at very closely. Now, I looked into Solutions Not Sides quite deeply, and I found some quite disturbing aspects of the organization. So, what I found was at least 20 employees of One Voice, which is the parent organization of Solutions Not Sides, who were former Israeli military. But I found 3 employees of Solutions Not Sides and or its parent organization, One Voice, who were simultaneously employed by the Israeli government. So, for example, you had Yaniv Rivlin, who worked for the Israeli embassy in the UK at the same time as working for One Voice. And previous to that, he'd been a first sergeant in the elite combat intelligence unit of the Israeli occupation forces. He had another figure who was head of communications for this organization, which is now in British schools, Roe Newman. Now, at the same time as being head of communications for the organization, he was also head of communications for the Israeli Minister of Justice at the time, Zippy Livni, who actually was an arrest warrant was issued for her in this country. You also have the case of Sinir Sigavi, who was simultaneously a graphic designer for One Voice, the parent organization of Solutions Not Sides, at the same time as being listed as a social media manager for the Israeli occupation forces.